It's amazing to think about what these prisoners' thoughts were like when they committed the crimes. What enables these criminals to carry out such heinous crimes? Is it a difference in the way their brains are wired from that of a typical person? When you learn about the crimes these young people committed and their life sentences, can you really feel sorry for them? It's very sad to see teenagers who are about to be sentenced to life in prison. What should the duration of life sentences be, in your opinion? Given that different countries have different laws, be sure to post your responses in the comment section below. For instance, the minimum service requirement in France is 30 years, while it is 12 in Finland. Anyways, let us have a look at a list of the top 10 teenagers who freaked out after given a life sentence. Starting from number 10. The kid was speaking in a difficult to understand manner, but he was pleading for mercy, and watching it is difficult. Of course, mistakes are made by people, but as a society, we cannot overlook killing someone. Well, after strangling a 5-year-old girl to death, John Freeman, then 17 years old, was apologizing to the victim's family. He was given 25 years to life for this incident, which also occurred close to Buffalo. John Freeman entered a plea of guilty to a charge of second-degree murder. So when John turns 42 years old, a judge will decide whether or not John poses a threat to himself or to society. And if he does not, he will be released, hopefully with a new outlook on life. At number 9 is a man who may look familiar to some of you, and to be completely honest, the majority of you won't even care if he is forgotten about while incarcerated. It's TJ Lane, the adolescent who faced a judge for sentencing following the Ohio school shooting in 2012. TJ shot 3 students dead and injured 3 others when he was only 17 years old. He was tried as an adult even though he was a minor at the time of the incident, and was given 3 life sentences without the possibility of parole. TJ, however, was able to break out of prison not long after the attack. In Ohio's Allen Correctional Institution, he and 2 other inmates managed to break out just 8 days before his birthday. Using a makeshift ladder, he was able to get away. While it was open for recreation, they used it to scale a fence. Local residents were notified to lock their doors while police conducted a nationwide search. Following their eventual capture, TJ was imprisoned for 23 hours per day in a tiny cell with the other 2 men. In a maximum security facility, he was awaiting transfer. At number 8, Dylan Shoemaker, a 17-year-old, who beat the 23-month-old son of his girlfriend. It's absurd that Dylan's attorney tried to argue that he didn't mean to hurt the 23-month-old baby. He just did not know how to control himself because he suffers from a problem with anger. I don't understand the need for attorneys to provide such defenses. Why are his lawyers fighting when that little baby doesn't even have a chance at life? Dylan was found guilty of second-degree murder in this case in Buffalo by the jury. He received the harshest punishment possible under Buffalo law, when the judge gave him a 15-year to life sentence. At number 7, an 18-year-old who exploited a dating gap to set up a robbery that resulted in a shootout, and the young man was given a 20-year prison sentence. During the sentence, it was obvious that the mother was very hurt. She panicked after learning that her daughter has just been charged and given a 20-year prison sentence, and the teenager soon follows suit. Police officers quickly removed the teenager from the courtroom after that, leaving the mother alone in the room to sob. She was devastated, and anyone would be if they just learned that their child had committed a robbery where guns were used and was later given a 20-year prison sentence. At number 6, when Dexter Johnson, who was 19 at the time, received the death penalty, he became enraged in court. He had nothing left to lose, so he decided to lose it. To a capital murder, Dexter Johnson was found guilty. A 23-year-old woman named Maria was the victim of a carjacking, robbery, rape, and murder committed by this individual. He is in his 30s and is still waiting to be executed. Currently, no date has been set for his execution. At number 5, Samantha Grick, a teen, was charged with the murder of Dustin Frolka, a student at Michigan State University. Simply put, this situation is absurd. She had just turned 16 at the time of the incident, so why did she decide to organize a kidnapping in order to rob and murder someone? Tyrell Bredernitz, who is 18 years old, was one of the people who assisted her. This is absurd because Samantha seemed to have a very promising future, which is why it doesn't make sense. She was actually the band's lead singer and she was quite talented. However, this shows that you can't truly know somebody. At number 4, Antonio Barbeau, who was 15 at the time of his trial. For the 2012 murder of his great-grandmother, he was given a life sentence. At the time, he was only 13 years old. It's just so sickening that the great-grandmother was 78 years old. Antonio won't be eligible for release until he turns 50. According to the article on this case, Antonio's attorney deemed this punishment to be harsh and unusual. The fact that the attorney actually said that in court is just pathetic. How does that attorney even get any sleep at night? Antonio killed his great-grandmother for financial gain. Evidently, the penalty wasn't harsh enough. At number 3, we have an unnamed girl who went into a panic after receiving a life sentence. She was breathing too rapidly. This girl collapsed to the ground and yelled in the courtroom just as the panic attacks began. Family members of the woman were also seen freaking out at this. At number 2, we have this terrifying freak from a Californian teen who begged to avoid going to jail. Fernando Algato, aged 18, was charged with rape. He refuted the allegations and went into shock as he was being sentenced because he was terrified of going back to jail. For some reason, he believed that if he fought back, he would be somehow freed. And finally, at number 1, we have this unnamed young man who, following his sentencing, simply turned around and began to assault the audience members in the front row, who may have included the victim's family. Fortunately, the police arrived quickly to control the situation and prevent any injuries. So that's the end of the video. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and press the notification bell so you never miss out on our next videos. Until the next video, take care.